When I first got the job offer, it felt like the universe was finally rewarding all the years I'd spent grinding in silence. A senior position in Denver, triple the pay, benefits that actually meant something, and a chance to finally build the life I'd promised my wife, Hannah. I still remember walking through the front door that evening, holding the printed offer letter like it was a golden ticket. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, half watching a reality show. I said her name, smiling, unable to hide the excitement in my voice. "You're not going to believe this," I told her. She looked up, almost bored, and said, "What now?" I told her everything: the pay, the relocation package, how the company even offered to help us find a house in Denver. I thought she'd jump up, hug me, maybe cry out of happiness like in those cheesy commercials. But instead, she blinked twice, leaned back and said, "Denver? I'm not moving to Denver." I laughed at first, thinking she was joking, but her face didn't change. "What do you mean?" "It's a fresh start. We've talked about wanting to get out of this town for years." She sighed, like I was inconveniencing her. "Yeah, we talked. But I didn't mean Denver. My mom's here. My friends are here. My life is here." The word "my" hit harder than I expected. My mom, my friends, my life, not our life. For a while, I stood there, holding the offer letter, trying to make sense of how a dream could crumble so quietly. I told her it wasn't immediate, that we could visit, find a neighborhood she liked, even fly her mom out whenever she wanted. But she just shook her head and said, "I'm not uprooting my life for your career." Her tone wasn't angry. It was dismissive, almost rehearsed. That night I barely slept. I kept hearing that sentence in my head. "I'm not uprooting my life for your career." It made me realize she didn't see us as a team anymore. Maybe she hadn't for a long time. The next morning, I made coffee for both of us, hoping maybe she'd changed her mind. She walked into the kitchen in her robe, eyes glued to her phone again. "Still thinking about that job thing?" she asked, like it was some hobby I needed to drop. "Yeah," I said. "I was thinking we could go out there next weekend, just to see the city." "No decisions yet." She didn't even look up. "James, you're not listening. I'm not going. I built my life here. If you want to chase your job, that's on you." Her words were sharp, but it wasn't the tone, it was the detachment. Felt like she'd already detached from us. For years, I'd put her dreams before mine. I'd helped her finish school when money was tight, worked double shifts when she wanted to open her boutique, even stayed in the city when better jobs came up, because she said she wasn't ready to move. But now, when it was finally my turn, she didn't even blink. I left for work that day in silence. I didn't text her. She didn't text me. The house felt heavier that evening when I came home. There was no dinner, no apology, no mention of the offer. Just another quiet night where we pretended everything was fine. That week, my boss called to ask if I'd made a decision. I said I needed time, but the truth was, I was waiting for Hannah to care. Friday night, I tried again. "It's not just about the job, Hannah. It's about us, our future." She looked up from her laptop, sighed and said, "Then maybe our futures just don't match." She didn't mean it as a breakup line, but something in me broke anyway. I nodded slowly, got up, and went to the bedroom. She didn't follow. She didn't ask what I was thinking. And for the first time in our marriage, I realized I didn't want her to. That night, I opened my laptop and signed the offer letter. I didn't tell her. I didn't owe another conversation to someone who had already checked out. But before I hit send, I wrote her a message, a calm, final one. I sat there, staring at the email draft, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. For years, I had written emails that began with, "After discussing with my wife." But not this one. This time, there was no "we," just me. Before sending it off, I opened my phone and typed out a message to Hannah. It wasn't angry or bitter. I read it twice before pressing send. "You've made it clear your life is here. I respect that, but I can't keep shrinking mine to fit inside yours. I'm taking the job. I leave next month. I wish you well in the life you chose." Then I hit send. For a moment, the silence that followed felt like peace. Then the phone buzzed. Her name lit up the screen. Hannah. What's that supposed to mean? Me. Exactly what it says. A few minutes passed. Then another text came through. Hannah. So you're just going to walk away? Like everything we've built means nothing? I wanted to tell her that I had been walking away piece by piece for years. Every time she dismissed my dreams. Every time she rolled her eyes when I talked about the future. But I didn't say any of that. Me. I'm not walking away. I'm moving forward. There's a difference. She didn't reply after that. The next morning, I packed for work. She was in the kitchen, arms crossed, waiting. You're really going through with this? She asked. Yeah, I said. I am. She let out a short laugh, one that carried disbelief more than amusement. You think you're punishing me? You'll be miserable without me. I met her eyes and said quietly, I already am. For a second, her face softened, like she wanted to say something, but pride got in the way. She just turned around and muttered, do whatever you want. So I did. Over the next few weeks, I arranged everything, the movers, the lease in Denver, the start date. She didn't help pack. She didn't even ask what day I was leaving. The only thing she cared to ask was, what about the house? I'll sign it over to you, I told her. It's always felt more like yours anyway. Her expression flickered. Maybe guilt, maybe confusion, but she didn't argue. She just said, fine. The night before my flight, I sat alone in the living room surrounded by half-packed boxes. The TV was off. The house was silent. Hannah had gone out with her friends, like nothing was happening. I thought about all the years we'd spent there, the birthdays, the late-night talks, the plans we never followed through on. And then I thought about how easily she'd chosen staying comfortable over staying with me. That's when I realized something simple but freeing. Love can't survive where compromise is one-sided. The next morning, I left before she woke up. No dramatic goodbye, no note on the counter. Just a clean exit. When my flight landed in Denver, I turned my phone on. Dozens of missed calls, a few texts. The first one read, so that's it? You're really gone. The last one simply said, you'll regret this, James. But I didn't. The first few weeks were strange. I catch myself reaching for my phone to text her something funny or mundane. Then I'd remember the silence on the other end wasn't temporary. It was permanent. I poured myself into work. My new team treated me like I mattered. My boss trusted my ideas. I felt alive again, like I was finally part of something that wasn't slowly dying. One evening, a package arrived from my old address. A box I hadn't shipped. Inside was a framed photo of our wedding day, wrapped in newspaper, no note attached. I looked at the photo for a while. We looked happy back then. Or maybe just hopeful. Either way, it didn't hurt to look anymore. I put the frame in a drawer and closed it gently. Months passed. I never heard from her again, not directly. A mutual friend told me she sold the house and moved in with her mother. Apparently, she's been telling people I chose money over love. Maybe she's right. Or maybe I just stopped mistaking comfort for love. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that moment when she said, I'm not uprooting my life for your career. I used to hear it as rejection. Now I hear it as freedom. Because the truth is, she was never refusing to move to Denver. She was refusing to move forward. And when someone refuses to grow with you, the most powerful thing you can do is stop waiting for them. So no, I don't regret my reply. It didn't just end a marriage. It ended the version of me that kept begging to be chosen.